What's up, YouTube? Doc86. It's been a while. So today what we're doing is we're reviewing three very well known bandages that are pertaining to, I guess you could say, the whole tactical TCCC environment. We have the Israeli dressing, the Mercy trauma dressing from North American Rescue, the H&H bandage. I know it's a lot of H's. We'll move past that here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to objectively review all three bandages. I'm going to go over some pros and cons. These are, once again, this is my opinion. This is how I feel about it. If you don't like it, comment and we'll discuss back and forth, and we'll go over this, appropriately. So without any further obstruction, we're going to start off with the North American Rescue dressing. Now, all dressings come vacuum sealed. Big plus, so you don't have to crumple and do what I'm doing right now to demonstrate for you. 4 notches, rip. In my case, I already cut it so I can get to the bandage for the demonstration purposes. So, starting with the wrapper, easy. Instructions already on there, because there's some really simple people out there that don't know how to use a bandage. I'm not one of those people. I'm just explaining you this stuff. Now, bandage. This bandage is really user friendly. This bandage is so user friendly, in fact, that if you didn't have the instructions on it, you could probably still figure it out. Pad, little Velcro breaks to stop the bandage from unrolling. Now you have, I want to say, 4 by right around 6 inches of space to cover a wound, which is pretty decent. So we got 4 by 6 ace bandage, the little plastic hook claspy thingies that I'm not really a big fan of because sometimes they can break, especially when you got someone who's completely overstressed and trying to do good ditch medicine, good battlefield first aid, or just non-safe trauma care. We're going to go with that. That's the word we're going to use today. They come in 4 and 6 inch. They're all across the board in the U.S. military. They have an NSN number. They are issued in basic, your basic IFAKs. So every Joe Schmo that has an IFAK on his kit has one of these. Good to go. Now, next item on the list is the Israeli bandage. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm not a fan of the Israeli bandage. Just disclaimer. When they came out, they were awesome. They were all that was out there at the time. So it was really important that we transitioned at that time period to a better, more modern pressure dressing. And it's called the Israeli dressing because, well, it was designed by the Israelis. These guys have lived. Israel is very resilient because they've lived in a state of war since the time of the Bible. They've got to figure out how to do healthcare. So, comes in 2 wrappers. Once again, instructions. Little secondary wrapper that's really easy to rip. Now, the cool thing is if you're a medic and you choose to use these, why, I do not know, but you could take them all out of their wrapper and leave them in this wrapper so you could see what you got. And then when you need it, just grab it, rip it, and you're good to go. It saves time of having to get through 2 wrappers, which I guess that's the only plus of pre-staging them like that. Oh. The immediate con is this clamp. It gets, heat just crystallizes that glue and peels right off. Useless. So then you're stuck with pretty much a lower grade version of the emergency trauma dressing. There you go. That's my opinion. It's got the same little plastic hooky whatever clamp at the end, a little clasp that you dig through the ace bandage with, and you hope you don't rip through it, you know, in your haste to get the bandage secured. Just tie it off. And last but not least, the H bandage. H bandage comes in 8x10. Has a high density polymer H that instead of being glued on, it's secured by, I want to say, an almost Kevlar-like really thick nylon fabric. It's sewn on really. See if I could get it really close to the camera. You've got all this sewn here, and it's sewn all the way through. So when you put this down on a wound, you know, you can really get some focused downward pressure simply by pulling the ace bandage around, pulling it through, and coming back. And yeah, I'm biased. I like this bandage. I really do. It's what I carry. It's what I put in everyone that works with me is IFAK, because if something happens, I don't have to go digging through my stuff first. I can just dig through yours. And quite frankly, it works. In my opinion, it works. And I mean, there's also some solid, you know, actual background study behind this. And I took the time to read it all. I just forgot where I put it. Wrapper. Once again, directions. Let's see. You've got multiple uses with this thing. I mean, it's easy to use, just like the emergency trauma dressing, but you've got multiple uses besides just gunshot trauma. You have avulsions, small eviscerations, burns. You know, if you don't have burn gel dressings, you can pour cold water on this, and it's a big pad, so it's going to cover the surface area. Just all in all, it's, in my opinion, bang for your buck. Really, really readily available. It does have an NSN number. It's actually smack right there when you look at it. And there are some units in the military that still use this. I can tell you for a fact that the Master at Arms at Kings Bay Naval Weapons Station sub base have these in their kits. That's not an OPSEC thing. It's a first aid dressing. So I'm not violating anybody's policy with that. So I don't see a problem in using them. They work. I know a lot of FMF corpsmen that prefer to use these. I know some Army medics that are mad that I have them in my bag and they have to carry something else. But at the end of the day, I'm not in the Army anymore. I do tactical medical stuff on the civilian side. We're not going to get into what I'm doing right now too much on video, but needless to say, I'm a fan of the H bandage. The other two bandages that are out there are the cinch dressing and the Tactical Medical Solutions Elias modular bandage. I've used both of them. I've actually used all of these dressings that I'm talking about right now. And at the end of the day, I prefer the H dressing. If you want to ask me specifically why, other than what I've talked about in this video, I'll be glad to discuss that with you. Leave a good comment. Well, not a good comment. Leave a comment. Say whatever the hell you want. You know, I'll address it. You know, if it's inappropriate, I'll address it. If it's appropriate, I'll address it. All in all, have a wonderful day. Wherever you're at, God bless. Well, whoever you worship, you know, bless that, you know, in your direction. Have a nice day. Bye.